Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sunaina once again. I'm back in this channel and I welcome you back as well. Now, today morning, I had the time as explained in my earlier video that I did for the twin flame. And after that, of course, I had some time, so I decided to update another love read for the sign of Leo. I've been trying to catch up with all the love readings as well, but I guess I'm not having enough time in hand to finish it before the end of November. But I promise you, everybody, that for December I will get the love readings out as quickly as possible for all the 12 zodiac signs so that everybody can have a peep into their own life and see how it's going to work out for December 2018. Now, this year is coming to an end very quickly, and very soon we will be at the end of this year. 2018 goes by, and bang comes 2019, with Saturn having shifted its position about a year and a half back. And so therefore, the 3 years 2018, 19, and 2020 will be very important for every zodiac sign because there will be a lot of transitions, there will be a lot of movement, a lot of things will break, a lot of things will be given birth to. People will change, situations will modify itself. So, and it's just not with one person or two people, it's with everybody. All the zodiac signs are going through the same transformations right now in their respective way, okay? Now, I'm doing a love read right now for the sign of Leo, which starts on July 22nd and ends on August 23rd of every year. That's their time period. Now, I have met many Leos in my life, okay, both men and women. I have had good friends who have been Leo as well. And I have been watching all the Leos as much as I can in my own way. One thing I noticed, the good traits about Leo is they're lighthearted, they like having fun, they're generous people. If you happen to be in a problem and if you happen to ask for help from a Leo will very seldom a Leo will say no and will refuse to help you. They are very generous. They are actually warm and generous people, and that's their good side because they represent the lion. They kind of are a little bit ferocious otherwise because of the fire sign quality they have. So far I have done an earth sign, an air sign, and water sign, and now I'm doing a fire sign love read. But in December or before December, going towards December, I promise you guys that you will get all the love readings and all the other readings as well as we go from there. I'm sorry this time I've been a little bit late in catching up, and that's why I'm trying to do as much as I can within the little frame of time that we still have left for the month of November 2018. Now, take whatever resonates with you. This is a general love read for the collective Leo, male, female, whoever is watching this. So take whatever resonates and don't take whatever doesn't resonate with you. Toss it out of the window, okay? So now, as I was saying, that Leos are very nice people. They're warm, they're caring, they're friendly people. But at the same time, they can be very arrogant. That's their temper. They can be very rough. They can be very crude at times. The way they talk to people. They don't mean to harm you. They don't mean to hurt you, but that's the way they are, okay? So if you understand that side of a Leo quality, you will also see their better part of it. So that's what a Leo to me is in a nutshell. But now, before we get any further, let me jump into the cards in here because I do have some more cards than I had expected to see. Okay, so first we start with the overall energy of the significant other in the Leo's life. Okay, so that again, as I said, could be a man, could be a woman, whatever, however it resonates with you. Now, that significant other's energy is the person is kind of observing, okay? He or she is not moving right now. They have planted the seeds according to them in this love situation with the Leo in their own way. They are having some issues over that, some mental traumatic sleepless nights, because they don't know in which direction things are going to work out for them and for the person they love. Okay, that's the Leo I'm referring to. So therefore that person, the significant other in Leo's life, is a little bit worried, tensed, and just watching the fruits of his or hers harvest, the plantations that they have made. They have sowed the seeds, but they are not yet in that position to see that reap, harvest, and grow. So they are having the Sodi energy in there. They are kind of, having troubles over this love issue with the Leo. So that's their kind of energy, the overall energy for the month of November. As of the Leo himself or herself, the Leo is in a position of waiting for the morning sunshine. Okay, the person, Leo himself or herself, is kind of visualizing that part of his life or her life, when the sun is going to shine on them, okay, on both him and or her, and with the significant other. So the Leos are standing in that energy and waiting for the sun to throw its rays on them and bless them into this journey. Okay, now what's crossing these two energies over here is the Eight of Cups. Now, Eight of Cups energy talks to me about, it's funny, because there are 8 cups on this card, but 1 cup is missing, the 9th cup is missing over here. And if you look at the card, the person has kind of turned his or her back and is walking away from there. And the sun is kind of half lit and half in dark, okay? So, which is like somewhere between the dawn and the night. This is the kind of atmosphere or the ambience in here in the card. But the energy that is crossing them both is telling me that they both know that the old cups have been dented and chipped, and they are not interested in picking up the old and dented cup. Okay, so they are both turning their back and walking away from the dented cups to find something better, to find the 9th cup in here. Okay, and therefore they are both in a kind of waiting mode. They are not jumping into the fray of things right now. They are not jumping into action right now. They are both of them are taking their time to kind of meditate and understand as to which road they should be walking on and which path they should be going into. Okay, so that's the kind of energy that is telling me that right now in the month of November, both the energies, the Leo himself and herself and the significant other in the Leo's life, they are both kind of halted in a situation where they are not getting what they want, where both of them are not getting what they want at the moment, okay? So therefore the foundation in this month in their love reading is also asking both of them to kind of take their time, okay, by themselves and meditate upon the problem, okay, in a much calmer way. Because when people kind of are rushing forward or doing too many things or thinking it out loud, or they are kind of brainstorming into ideas with other people, other acquaintances, whatever, a lot of time it happens that you tend to get confused. So instead of doing that, the advice of my spirit over here is telling both the people, the Leo and the love in his or her life, to take their time and meditate upon the problem, whatever problem they are kind of facing at this point in time, in a much calmer way, to kind of erase that situation of cloudiness from their mind. Okay, because both of them are they have to kind of balance out the energy in here, because their energies are kind of not in the right place, because they are still looking for something. They are not happy with the dented cups or with whatever has happened in the past with them, amongst both of them, because one has planted the seeds, the other is waiting for the morning sunshine. But again, both of them are walking away from the dented cups, which tells me that they are not happy right now. And that's why the advice of the foundation card is asking for them to both take their time and meditate upon this problem to resolve this issue from here and see what happens. Okay. Now, that's as far as the foundation is concerned. Now, the past energy for the Leo tells me that Leo had been quite a very generous person in their love situation. Okay. The Leos are anyways generous, as I have mentioned before as well as I started the reading, okay? And they are people, who like to give. Now, this person in the past energy that the Leo is kind of picking, or I'm picking up on the energy of the Leo in the past, is that the person had been giving, the person had been quite motivated to give. They had the vision and the clarity, they had their energies in the right place, okay? But then something happened. Something happened between the past and the present in here that kind of transformed all the energies, okay? So the past energy, usually it's usually I see that the past energies have not been good, but the present energies are good, or vice versa. The past energy is being good and the present energy is not being that great, okay? So therefore, according to my understanding in here, something in the distant past, or in the recent past, something has happened between the Leo and the significant other that has kind of changed the entire situation, into my understanding. Although the Leo himself or herself, they still have their hopes high because they're waiting for the morning glow to come on them, But something is not quite right between the past and the moment in here with their overall energy. That's why the foundation card is asking them to kind of balance out their spiritual and physical plane, in the way that they want to. Going into meditation, understanding things, trying to improve on the situation, trying to work upon themselves and their wrongdoings if they have any, and getting clear of the situation from here onwards. Now, in the present self, in the 3D, the Leo is in the place where he wants to gather information, more gathering of information. He wants to understand himself and his significant other better, and plus he wants to juggle out his own or her own differences that might have occurred in their love life, okay? To juggle out, to balance it, to understand himself better, because he is right now or she is right now not ready to take the leap of faith in the physical world, okay? So therefore they are waiting because they are kind of growing wise, in their understanding of the situation that has happened in here. Why the 8 of Cups, the broken dented cups they want to leave behind, maybe they are looking, both of them, if I'm not mistaken, they are both looking to begin something new, that could be at the back of their mind, leaving the past behind, leaving the dented cups behind, and walking into a much calmer water, okay? So therefore, in the physical self, the Leo himself or herself is juggling out these two kind of energies, the internal conflict and the outside world that I look into that way, But he or she is doing that in a happy way, There is no grudge, there is no feeling of arrogance in here, or hatred or something for the other person. So they are trying to internalize their own differences. That's my way of interpreting their physical world self, They are kind of coming to the position where they are being able to balance out whatever needs to be balanced out in their love situation with the significant other. Now, in the future, going a little bit forward, the future is telling me that the Leo has been very stringent and strict in some ways in their love situation. Okay, it's like my way or the highway kind of a situation. Either you do what I'm telling you, or I don't want you in my life. Either you listen to me the way I'm telling you, that's how things will work. That control situation, um, being controlling over the other person. Okay, the Leo wasn't that, or the future is, you know, telling me that that is where the problem was with the differences that has happened here. You know, because of the Leo being so arrogant at times. Okay, where the person forgets that it's not always my way or the highway. There is something in between the highway and my way. Okay, and that is the road that is kind of balancing out the situations between two people here. So, in the future, the Leo himself or herself will have to understand the situation, leave behind that mode of my way or highway, kind of a control, domination, arrogance, egotistical, being egotistical, like it's my way, or you're not there at all. Being egotistical in the situation of their love life. So that in the future needs to go, and it's going to go, which will of course bring about a change in the person. Okay, the person at times, if he doesn't and if he changes, would be also left out in the cold, because in the future, if this kind of an energy continues, okay, the Leo is bound to lose his or her significant other and would be left out in the cold for some time. That would transform the entire situation into death of his ego, or of the control situation. Okay, so my interpretation for the future is in this way, that the Leo needs to prove himself once again, that it is not his ego that is coming in the situation, but that he or she needs to work on that kind of their own self, to make situations better. Being left out in the cold, nobody wants to be left out in the cold, because they probably did not mean any harm. Don't get me wrong, that they have done this because they have meant to inflict pain on anybody. They have not meant any harm for the other person. They probably wanted the best for the other person in this kind of situation, but they don't understand where they need to stop, where to draw the boundary, where to draw the line, so that both the people remain happy at the end of the day. But Leos, because as I said, they like to be in the center, in the limelight, their attention, they are attention savvy people. So they forget, and because of their high inflated ego, they forget at times that situations demand more patience. They demand more balancing out, more juggling acts that need to be done, internal, outside, both ways, so that situations in both their respective areas of their life can be balanced out. But in the future, there is definitely a death card that's coming up in here that is telling me that the Leo is going to change. And I believe when I check the next month's energy, I'm going to see what the death means and how the person has been transformed. That will come to me in the month of December. But definitely in the near future, the person needs or will be changing, which will of course happen because he or she will be left out in the cold for some time. Okay, and that will give them the realization that they need to completely change and put an end to this kind of an attitude that they had been holding on in the present state of their love life. Okay, that's in the near future. As far as their environment is concerned, they do have right now, or in the going forward in the future, both ways I can see that they do have the Three of Sword energy. okay, which means again that they are disturbed, There has been some kind of betrayal, or not betrayal, there has been a kind of conflict, between the Leo and the significant other in their love life, which has left the Leo with a Three of Swords kind of an energy, okay? So in the environment, somebody is blaming somebody is throwing to, kind of push the emotional baggage on the other person, trying to pull the other person down by saying negative things, by negative actions, by using harsh words. That is leaving the Leo in his environment with a bit of pain and hurt, okay? But at the same time, going a little bit forward, because the Leo is a person of a fire sign, they are not going to give up. So he or she is also, from this kind of an infliction of pain, will rise to start a new beginning. And that's a wonderful Ace of Pentacle that I'm looking at. So whatever is going to happen is definitely giving rise to a new beginning in the love life of all of the Leos in the present situation in the month of November going towards December. Okay, so something that's going to begin fresh, something that somebody is going to pick up the ninth card, or they will find the ninth card and they will walk from there, after having balanced their own spiritual and mental, physical self in this world by going into a calmer and deeper water, okay? Understanding of them both. Basically, they need to understand not only themselves, whatever their wrongdoings they have been doing, however they have been acting in this love situation, they need to balance that out. They need to understand how ethically, how logically, how rationally they can work with the other people, which Leo many a times happens to forget. Because like I said, it's my way or the highway kind of an attitude that makes them or breaks them. Okay, so therefore that is why in the environment situation, the Leo definitely has a heartbreak, has a conflict in their heart, okay, has some kind of pain in their heart. But then going forward a little bit, and that's the next energy that will come up in the month of December, I'm pretty sure there is definitely a new beginning with the Ace of Pentacles. That means something will happen, like I said, with the Death card in here, something will transform to give rise to a new beginning. It's actually a very nice way of saying this, It's death means a new beginning, and Ace of Pentacles number 1 is also a new beginning, and both these cards had come, one below the other. So if I look at it in this way, there is definitely a death of his ego or her ego, okay? Definitely a death of their attitude if I'm looking at this properly, okay? Definitely a death of their attitude by being left out in the cold, okay? The self-realization that is going to dawn into them of the way, because they had been behaving my way or the highway, or whatever kind of situation they had been trying to dominate, the other person will definitely not yield any result, making this even more worse than what it normally could have been. Therefore, this death is going to come, but at the same time, in the environment, because of his own death or her own death of their ego, the environment, in their environment, they can start a new beginning, a fresh beginning, which is a good card to have in here. In the hopes and fears situation over here, there are 3 cards I've got, and then 2 of them are major arcanas. Actually, over here, there are a couple of major arcanas, okay? Now, in their hopes and fears, the Leo does want victory, okay? The Leo does want to win over the significant other's heart, because Leos by themselves, like I said, are generous people, They do not want to inflict pain, but their attitude is such that the other person feels the pain. They do not know that their attitude is inflicting pain. Okay, so that is the reason they do want victory in the hopes and fears. But again, because of the wheel of fortune and the tower in here, that victory will need time to come to them, because they will have to understand that the wheel of fortune is what controls their destinies out here. Okay, and because of that, the Leo himself or herself has death and has the tower. So guys, there is a major crash down of Leos in their love life, of their energies. Okay, there is a major transformation. I mean, what more major can it be? When I see death, I see tower, and I see the wheel of fortune. All three are indicating a major transformation in their attitude, in their way, in their thinking, in their belief, in their traditional ways of understanding things, whatever it is. Like I said, a transformation. So obviously there is a wheel of fortune, there is death, and the wheel of fortune is something that the Leos are going to realize in the coming months, that it is not them who can control the wheel of fortune. It is somebody else in the universe, or the universe themselves is converting or controlling their destinies. Okay, they are manifesting. It is not the Leo himself or herself who is manifesting their love destiny. And that is the reason why there is a tower card, which will also again crash their ego to start afresh, to start new. Okay, now in the outcome, the Leo will recognize by the end of November, that they have definitely understood a lot of things. They might not get the entire picture, because everybody doesn't get the entire picture. But one thing they will definitely realize, that they have learned a lot. Okay, they have the book of knowledge, they have the wisdom, they have gathered a lot of wisdom in the course of this journey. Okay, which is going forward, crashing, building, transforming, death, everything, cut off, blah, 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 slash it off and start afresh, that kind of an energy in their love life. So they are going to learn a lot, from this kind of experiences, and which I think is a good thing to happen for not just the Leos, don't get me wrong, but for everybody in general. They just need to understand this in a very nice way. Okay, and therefore their outcome will be much more calm. Okay, they will get the peace, they will get that quality, they'll get the rationality, they will get that wisdom, where they can sit with the book of knowledge and understand that it's not always the my way and the highway kind of a situation in any areas of their life. They have to work with people in a more rational, more intuitive way. Okay, they have to learn to hear their intuition. I'm talking to you guys, the guys who are Leos. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you will be learning this in the course of the coming days. Okay, that your intuition is more powerful than your domination in your area of love. Okay, so therefore, please understand this, and please gather the wisdom to understand your intuition, to hear your inner voices, to let people know, how in a more rational way, how in a more logical way you can actually perform and make things happen. Okay, let the sun shine. You want the sun to shine, but for that, please guys, you will have to use your intuition here if you really want the sun to shine upon your love life. Okay, or else you will be disturbing the entire thing, turning it upside down, and kind of just banishing any kind of good energies that would have come into your life if you do things in the most wise way of being the high priestess here. Okay, with your book of knowledge. So that is the outcome of the entire love read here. At the bottom of the deck over here is the Emperor. Okay, now the Leo is also an Emperor, the Taurus is also an Emperor, but in what kind of an Emperor have you been? That is what makes or breaks any kind of situation. Emperor could be kind hearted, gentle, straightforward, justice, clarity, situations that he can handle in the most in the most apt way possible. But this card in here, the Emperor in this state, tells me that the person, the Leo, has not been doing things in the right way. They have been very hard and fast. Again, this is the message I'm getting in this entire reading, guys. I mean, it's not always your highway, my dear friends. It's not always my life and your life, and this is how I rule your life. That is not in any kind of situation. That is never a success story. Okay, so you have to be the Emperor, but you have to be the Emperor in the right possible way, with kind of justice that demands patience, that demands your understanding, that demands your wisdom, that demands your intuition. Okay, that kind of justice is what the Emperor should be giving, and not what you guys have been doing, making it look like it's only my ego that matters and my way that matters and nothing else that actually matters over here. So the other person, therefore, is not feeling happy. You have to make the other person feel happy. You have to make the other person realize that he or she is a part of your life. And it says in here, free yourself. So somewhere the Leo has been trapped in a situation of their own ego, in the situation of their own arrogance. Okay, so you need to get out of that mode, guys, and have romantic feelings for the other person. Your feelings are real and they're worth exploring at the bottom of the deck in here. Okay, and plus to do this, you will have to free yourself from all these encumbrances that you have kind of borrowed, all these energies that you have kind of borrowed. You need to put an end to that situation, or else things will not work out for you to the best of their ability. That would be my guidance to you guys. And I believe that going forward in the month of December, after all the major arcanas, the Tower energy, the Wheel of Fortune, the self-realization of the intuition, things will definitely improve. Things will definitely manifest themselves, okay? So therefore, my goddess guidance is saying, create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. You guys do need to become the high priestess. You guys need to balance out your energies again, okay, by going into more calmer waters. And then it says you are the magician, you're the sorceress, and you can definitely do that magic to bring back that peace, to bring back that harmony, to bring back that love in your life as quickly as possible. Both of you guys will be protected. You are an independent person, and your independence is a foundation of your strength and success. So you need to believe in yourself that you can do this. Okay, you can manifest this happiness. You can manifest the warmth back in your life. You can manifest the sunshine back into your life only if you act out in the right possible direction. Okay, so with this I end this video, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you again with an update of another zodiac sign, and as always, love you, and I love doing the reading. And any comments, please feel free to share or shoot me an email, and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much. Have a great night and see you soon.